of Tarot by Hilary Live. I am your hostess with the mostest, Hilary of tarotbyhilary.com, professional tarot reader, demystifying the mystical and putting you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friend, do not argue with me. You have intuition. Indeed, indeed, indeed. So, first off, at the top of this episode, in which we have no specific topic because we are at pretty much the start of the month of December. Finally, we are at the last month in a truly shit-tastic year for some people. So knowing that we're in the last month of the year, what I've been doing lately is I have been starting each episode of each month with a kind of overall overview of the next few Fridays that we have coming up and asking you, the viewers, what you would like to learn about this month. And usually there is a theme to go along with it. So we're going to talk about that as basically the topic of this episode is basically bring up your online scheduler, your online calendar, your print calendar or daily planner, and let's look at some dates and let's make a date together to learn some stuff. But I would like to do it in a general theme of like what you want to learn for December. So for example, for October, we started doing this and we did spooky season basically for October. And we talked about a few divination methods that are a little bit more unusual, a little bit more starting with charm casting, Ouija boards, and then also I did a little reading from the cute children's book, The Blue-Nosed Witch. So that was spooky ooky season for October. In November was National Novel Writing Month, in which you do this crazy endeavor in which you write a 50,000 word novel in one calendar month of November. So most of the episodes for November were focused on writing and tarot and writing. So we revisited an episode that I had done previously about tarot and writing and using tarot for brainstorming, plot points, character creation, and also breaking through any writer's block that you may have. So this was an episode on using tarot in a different way other than divination in order to basically brainstorm and write. You can also use that episode, the revisit episode and the original episode, Tarot and Writing, and I'll show you that right on screen. Hold on a second. Let me move this widget over. Hope you're enjoying my new widgets feature. But let me go ahead and show you. Of course, now the things are over my face. So that is the thumbnail image. If you are looking on either Facebook or on YouTube, you can find any of my past videos on either place. That is the thumbnail that you want to look for if you are looking to learn about tarot and writing, how to use tarot for your writing practice. So I would strongly encourage you to revisit that episode, take a look at that episode, if you want to learn about that particular topic. Let me go ahead and hide that. And I'm going to move this little widget post-it note over. But if you have ideas for future topics that you want to see in a future episode, please go ahead and leave them in the comments wherever you're tuning in from. I would love to hear them. Even if you're not tuning in live and you're watching the replay of this, please go ahead, put in your comments. I want to know what you want to learn about so that I can teach it to you. Let me move over right now, this is the live show. If you're watching this on December 4th at around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do this every Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me go ahead and show that just as a reminder to you guys. Okay. And so, since we've been doing that the last couple of months, we had kind of a theme for the month. I wanted to look over the month of December, give you guys some dates for the month of December, also let you know that when I will, so these are weekly shows every single week, Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. However, I'm fairly certain that Christmas Day falls on a Friday, December 25th, so we will probably not be having a live show that day. So this is the time in the episode to go ahead, get out your calendar, get out your planner, get out your online calendar, and look at some of these dates with me so we can figure out what we're going to be learning about in the next few episodes. While we're doing that, I want to give you a little bit of this astrology that's going on right now from the wonderful Teresa Reed, aka the Tarot Lady, that I get from her AstroBiz Digest, which is a subscription service. It's $99 for the year. It is incredibly helpful, and it's really a steal at that price because it's only like, I think, $2 a week, and you're able to pay for the whole thing. Very, very useful. So structure of these episodes is we start out with the astrology. I teach a topic, and then we end with the weekend forecast. Now, for this particular episode, I have not done my card of the day yet today, but I have pulled it. The deck of the month for the month of December, by the way, is the Scorpio Sea Tarot by Maggie Stiefvater, with text by Melissa Sinova. So this is actually the guidebook that goes along with the Scorpio Sea Tarot. So I've already pulled the card. So this will be both the weekend forecast and also the card of the day that I'm going to post later on after the broadcast. But we will wrap up the episode as usual with a weekend forecast. Okay. All right, let us start with the astrology from Teresa Reed. Give me a second to pull it up. So, let us see. All right. So, Friday, the Leo moon shows up at 7:53 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, making this weekend showtime. Get in front of the public as much as you can. Amp up your PR, get on the stage, grab the mic, and roar. You could see brisk sales all weekend long if you're willing to level up your media game. Keep in mind, by the way, that the AstroBiz Digest is meant for entrepreneurs, but you can totally use it in your personal life too. Just tweak your tweak the terminology. You'll still get the astrology. 4:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time finds the moon in a trine with Mercury, the best aspect for a significant PR effort. It is also fine AF for sending out a book proposal. Whether you're hitting up media or a publisher, this time of the day is lit, as in literature. So focus on writing today and focus on communication today. At 9:38 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the moon squares Uranus, and all the egomaniacs want to be worshipped. Meh. Take a pass on that noise and let them duke it out amongst themselves. Real ballers don't need constant praise. Today is a power day for Leo and a weak day for Aquarius. Dina's here. Hello, Dina. Just in time for the astrology. Welcome. So that is for Friday today. So for the weekends, Saturday starts off on a bang with a moon-sun trine at 9:41 a.m. A killer aspect for hitting the stage or the media. Express yourself, talk about your business, showcase some part of your work. It's all good. At 4:47 p.m., the moon squares Venus, a time when financial extravagance brings regrets. Oh boy. That's scary to me right now. Watch your own biz spending at that time. I have been doing a lot of online shopping lately, guys. This could also bring out the high maintenance types who want exceptions to the rules. You can determine if that feels right or not. At 11:53 p.m., Again, these are all Eastern Standard Time. Venus will trine Neptune, the perfect time for sending out a little secret Santa goodie for your best clients. Sunday has a void moon all morning, so sleep in if you feel like it, or if you can. At 2:46 p.m., the moon enters Virgo, and we're off to the races. The rest of the day and early next week is marvelous for tackling the to-do list and all of the little business details. The small touches matter too, so don't hesitate to go the extra mile to provide good service. Both days are power days for Leo and weak days for Aquarius. Oh, wow. So not only Friday today is a power day for Leo, weekday for Aquarius, but the entire weekend is that as well. Power days for Leo, weekdays for Aquarius. So there you go. So that is the astrology from Teresa Reed, aka the Tarot Lady. If anyone's been having a rough week, you can go ahead and put it in the comments. Especially let me know which day of the week you were having trouble with, and we can revisit the AstroBiz Digest to find out what was going in the stars. Going on in the stars at that particular day and time to see if it might make sense to you. Again, if this is something that interests you, remember, I am not an astrologer. I know just enough astrology to be dangerous. But if you like what you're hearing in the AstroBiz Astro-Weather, that is from the AstroBiz Digest by Teresa Reed, aka the Tarot Lady. And you can go ahead and find that on her website, thetarotlady.com, and you can subscribe yourself. And I really hope you do. I thoroughly enjoy and appreciate and find it really helpful. Her astrology, her way of phrasing things, it really brings down what can be such a hard topic to understand. And it's like, you know, ephemera and really ethereal and really esoteric. She brings all of the weird astrology jargon down into layman's terms so that everyone can understand it. So I appreciate that. And that's the reason why I give a little taste of the AstroBiz Digest every week when I do these episodes, because I believe so strongly in it. And I think that Teresa does great work, and I think you guys should purchase the AstroBiz Digest because it works for me. I pretty much review it every week at the start of the week to see what the lay of the land is, what the power days are, what the weekdays are, what I could be doing in my tarot business, and also in my corporate job and in my personal life. Remember that the astrology is there to work with that energy and not against. And there's no such thing really as a bad transit or a good transit. It's just like, it's how you work with that energy. So if that makes sense to you, go ahead and say yes in the chats. And also, if you've been having some rough days this past week and you want to know astrologically why that was, go ahead and say in the chat what happened, what day it was, and I'll go back to the AstroBiz Digest and take a look at that day and see what was going on in the stars that day, to maybe shed some light on why you had a difficult day that day or why you had an easy day that day. So let us look at these dates. Ooh, I like hearing that, Dina. So I'm on your TV right now? Cool. Do you like the widgets? It's a new feature on Be Live. Oh, by the way, guys, so if you like this whole background setup, the stars, my little logo, these little widgets, the fact that I can display comments on the screen. This is a third-party app called Be Live. You can find out about it. I think it's BeLive.tv. I think they're doing a Cyber Monday week where it's like 50% off subscriptions. Yeah, that's true. Speaking of Cyber Monday deals, Monday was crazy for Cyber Monday promotions. Yeah, you know, I wanted to talk about that, but I didn't know how to really say it's not worth it for me to do it. And I have these very strong feelings about, like, if you are a service provider, I don't like when service providers discount their services. It makes me feel kind of icky, and I also don't like to do that for myself because I feel like it's almost devaluing. There's certainly ways to do it that it's not as icky. For example, doing readings on a sliding scale, or I usually do like a 2-for-1 kind of email readings deal on Cyber Monday, but I just didn't do it this year. And I don't feel bad about it either. It's almost like I feel bad about not feeling bad about it. But yeah, so no Black Friday, no Small Business Saturday, no Cyber Monday. I've just been kind of relaxing and chilling out. And if you want a reading, you know where to find me. I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to be raising my rates in the next year because I just don't want to. I don't feel like it's time. So yeah. But I'm thinking about different specialty readings that I can do that at different price points. So yeah, but you're right. It was kind of a little bit crazy for Cyber Monday because we're all kind of sitting behind our screens right now. Hold on a second here. My network quality is very bad right now. Let me know, you guys, if I'm cutting in and out or I'm having any issues with video or audio, and I'll try and adjust it from my end. Yeah, so for Be Live, I just want to let people know about that particular thing. Hold on. Yeah, so it's just be.live. And it's 50% off on all yearly plans with promo code CYBERWEEK. All one word. And I think I have a referral link, but I can't find it right now. But let me see if I can pull that up here. So if the way this screen looks is cool to you and you happen to be doing live video, I would take advantage of that deal because it's a pretty darn good deal. Cyber Week, be.live. I'll try and put it in the chat here. Code. I'll display it once I send it. Yeah, I thought so. My voice was cutting out a little bit. Hopefully it's better now. So all you would do is type in be.live, and that's the URL. And then the promo code, it'll show up on the top of the website, and the promo code is CyberWeek to get 50% off. Wasn't planning on mentioning it, but since Dina's mentioning about the craziness of Cyber Monday, and I just noticed that while I was logging in, yeah. Enjoy if you happen to be doing live broadcasts like this for wherever you do your live broadcasts. I like it. I've been using it for about a year. It makes me look pretty professional, even when I don't decide to do any makeup. So there you go. Okay, so let us pull up our calendars here, because what we want to talk about is what are we talking about for December. So we have 2 dates coming up. Hold on, let me go ahead and drop this in here. Let me close this out. Let me do the technology dance right now. So we have, I don't know why I have this in all caps, but that's just going to be the way it is. Oh, good, my voice is better. Thanks. I am glad. Let me. Whoop. No show on. Of course, I would have prepped this before, but I was working up until the very minute I went live tonight. So, apologies. So, this month, the month of December, I can describe to you some of the dates in December that we have. hold on a second. Some of the dates in December where we have what is the December the month of, and then like, is it Friendship Day? Is it National Letter Writing Day? Is it this? So I try and coordinate some of these topics based on the calendar. So. All right. So let me pull this up. Oh, good. Perfect. Let me quickly take the screenshot. Give me a second here. Okay. Better. All right. Let me upload some media here. Again, another feature of Be Live. That's really, really groovy. Okay. So this widget right here that I'm about to delete on the top is basically what we're talking about tonight is what shows do you want to see for the month of December? And we'll talk about the different dates. That way, if you're watching this live, you can put your comments in the chat. If you're watching the replay, you can put your comments in the chat. And that way, by the time we come back for the next episode on December 11th, I will have already chosen a topic from a list of topics that you guys have given me, and I will go ahead and teach that topic. Same thing for December 18th, and then we're not going to have a show on December 25th. So let me close that up and let me show this calendar. And actually, let me take some of this overlay stuff off and just leave that. Okay. And let us see if I can move my face around here. That is definitely not what I wanted to do. All right. So I'm just going to pop back up here again. Everything looks good to me on my end. Uh-oh. So I'm just going to pop back up here again. Everything looks good to me on my end. Crap. I think none of you heard any of that when I hid. Oh gosh. I might have been just talking to the ether, guys. I'm sorry about that. So I went through basically the calendar and I was asking you guys to look at the calendar. Let me know what you think. So I'll go quickly again. Yeah, I guess that was my bad. I think I hit hide and that just turned my microphone off. I'm sorry about that. Silly me. I don't. So there was no volume at all when I was showing this. Sorry. Anyway, so some of these days are like national days and they're silly days, but other days are more universally acknowledged. Like, for example, next Thursday, the 10th, is Human Rights Day. Okay, thank you, Dina, for letting me know. Sorry about that, guys. So like next Thursday, the 10th, is pretty much universally acknowledged that that's Human Rights Day. But some of these ones in yellow, for example, all right, let me see if I can do this. I'm going to make myself littler. There we go. That's what I was trying to do before. So some of these ones like Eat a Red Apple Day, Giving Tuesday, the ones that are in yellow, this, by the way, is like a content marketing calendar for plr.me, which is very helpful. Yeah, it has been a weird week, Zuri. Yeah, it definitely has been a weird week. You're absolutely right. That's why I was saying before you came in, you might have missed it with the AstroBiz Digest. I was asking people if they had specifically a day that they had craziness or weirdness, just let me know and I'll go back into the AstroBiz Digest and check out the astrology to see maybe why it was a weird day. So yeah, some of these yellow ones are not maybe universally acknowledged. Like Underdog Day, never knew that. Letter Writing Day, didn't know that. But one like Human Rights Day that's in like the purpley magenta, that's more universally acknowledged. Ooh, that's great. Okay. Yep. All right, great. So I was wondering why people weren't giving comments, but it's because you guys couldn't hear me. So of course. Yeah, it's been a weird week. I'm not a huge fan of Cancer moons. It's opposite my natal Capricorn moon. Oh yeah, that'll do it. Just swimming in the water sign energy right now, right? So Dina has an excellent suggestion. Maybe we can look at the sixes as they deal with issues of refugees, charity for less fortunate. I think that's an excellent suggestion. And, depending on how many suggestions come in for topics, we'll either schedule that on the 11th or the 18th. So Dina, just let me know which day is better for you and we'll definitely schedule it. We got people talking to each other. Love it. So basically, I hope you guys are liking this idea about having like kind of a themed month. And that way I can send out something that gives you the schedule of the month of classes. Like, for example, let me see if I can pull up the one I did for October to show what I mean, in case you guys haven't seen it. I might have just put in schedule instead. Let me see. I think this was my final schedule that I'm going to pull up here. Oh, see? Might have been rough weeks for the two of you because you both have Capricorn moons, and we're in a Cancer moon right now. There you go. See, it helps to have astrologers, not only astrologer. I'm astrologer adjacent, but also it's good to have astrologer viewers that can help shed some light on this. When was the Cancer moon? Let me take a look here. Because the moon went into Leo today, so Cancer moon was on Wednesday. Well, Tuesday actually. Tuesday, the moon slipped into Cancer at 10:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Clients are needy. Everyone is emo. It's hard to focus. Very sensitive. Conversations may be delicate. High maintenance. Take a tender approach. And then at 1 p.m., the moon sextiled Uranus as well. So yeah, it was definitely a power day for Cancer on Wednesday and a weekday for Capricorn. So that's exactly what Zuri's talking about when she's saying about the opposition to her natal Capricorn moon. Oh, you're not seeing, by the way, Zuri, you're not seeing Dina's comments because Dina is tuning in over YouTube. So that's the reason I'm displaying her comments from YouTube since I'm seeing both. So there you go. Two different platforms, but you are still watching the same video. The power and magic of modern technology and also simulcasting. So again, a feature of Be Live. If you want to sign up for Be Live, it's 50% off this week. Yes. Makes total sense. Magic and technology. So yeah, I think we have a definite vote for the sixes of the tarot. Actually, let me go ahead and write that down. Sixes of the tarot, focusing on refugees and also charity. Great point. And then I can also look at the constellation of the sixes, the constellation of the sixes, based on Mary K. Greer's book, Who Are You in the Tarot, formerly called Tarot Constellations. There is the constellation of the sixes in which it applies not only to the minor arcana of the sixes, but also the major arcana. So the six for the major arcana would likely be the Lover's card. So the Lover's card would probably be along the constellation of the sixes. So we can definitely look into that as well. Is there any other suggestions that people can think of right now? I mean, you don't have to write them down right now or put them in the comments right now. If you want to think about it and come back to this video, you totally can. Again, this is live right now on Friday, December 4th. From 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I actually wasn't even planning on doing a video tonight, guys. I was really feeling very crotchety and snippety. So my husband actually mentioned to me if it would be interesting to do an episode on Yule, because that is, I mean, we're not doing an episode on Christmas Day, but that's not the only religious high holiday that's going on. We also have Kwanzaa, as you can see in the calendar here. The first day of Kwanzaa begins on December 26th. But we also do have Yule, which is a pagan holiday. This is something that I celebrate, and I actually have to take a look at where it falls, because it doesn't fall on a specific day. Each year it falls along, usually it's just around December 20th to 21st. But sometimes we do celebrate it in my coven a little bit earlier. So I believe that we're going to be celebrating on December 13th, if I'm remembering correctly, which is also a not so fun holiday for me because that is unfortunately the 3-year anniversary of my father's passing untimely. So that's not a fun anniversary, but it is kind of an interesting, I guess, energy field that I'm going to have to navigate. So, okay. Here's a tech question for you. So Dean is saying, yes, Yule. Okay, so let me do research on that because that might be for the 18th. We might do the 6s on the 11th, and we might do Yule on the 18th prior to Yule happening on the 20th or the 21st, I believe. So. Oh, thank you, Zuri. Yeah, I mean, life and death, that's a part of life, right? I'm only not crying uncontrollably because 1, I had a very complicated relationship with my father, and 2, I'm like not in that headspace right now. So, but thank you, I appreciate that. So Zuri asks, how do you find simulcasting to YouTube and Facebook at the same time? Are you getting new people following you by doing both? Always curious. Yeah, I mean, I'm using Be Live, which is a third-party application that I do pay for. It's a yearly subscription, and I think it really is about comfort and getting used to the technology, trying it out. So in that aspect, it's really not a problem. You just have to do a little bit of tweaking behind the scenes before you go live. So like, I can't really share my screen right now, but I'd be happy to like point you towards different tutorials that they have. And there is also a free trial of Be Live if you want to try it out. But simulcasting, I believe, is a new feature that they just rolled out in the summer. So I think I started simulcasting a couple months ago, and I do see a difference. It's just easier for me to simulcast so that I don't have to take this video down download it from Facebook and then upload it to YouTube after the fact. It's a lot of, I find with simulcasting, it kind of eliminates a lot of double work that I would have to do maintaining my YouTube channel at the same time as maintaining my Facebook channel, if that makes sense. Are you getting new people following you by doing both? Kind of, yeah. Or, I mean, when we were having the Mercury retrograde fun, there were a couple of people that usually watch on Facebook that decided to take a little bit of a social media sabbatical. So they weren't on Facebook, but they were able to tune in via YouTube. So that to me was pretty awesome. And I'm glad that I was able to offer that to them because it's just like, sometimes you do need to take a break from social media. And if you want to do that, and if that's the only way to access the broadcasts, then that kind of sucks. So I kind of like it. And I think I am kind of getting new viewers, but I'm also getting kind of the same viewers that might prefer to view me on YouTube instead because they're taking a little bit of a social media sabbatical. So it's a personal choice, but yeah. Sure, it takes time. Yep. Sure, it takes time, and it varies depending on the week or the month. Yep. Makes it a more efficient use of your time. Absolutely. I think it's the efficiency and working smarter, not harder, that made me want to do the simulcasting. I mean, there's different really schools of thoughts. Some people say to not do that and like split focus. But I don't, for my efforts, like I don't mind. Like most of my audience is on Facebook because that's how I started doing these lives. Does that mean that that might change in the future and more people will review me on YouTube? I don't know. So there's different schools of thought. People say you should focus on only a one platform and do it really well. I'm just like, find me anywhere, but it's easier for people as well. Dina, not a problem. So sorry, unless too hard for you. It's not too hard for me. I'm simulcasting in this one window of Be Live. I'm seeing all comments from both places coming up on the sidebar. So it's not too hard for me. It's actually pretty darn easy for me. Sometimes it's harder for me if I don't know what you guys are seeing on the other end, but there's no way for me really to know that unless I'm logged in, on YouTube on my phone and then opening up another browser window to see how it's looking natively to those programs. So that's the only caveat, but it's totally not a big deal. And I'm always happy to answer tech questions too, guys. And makeup questions as well. So I was asking on Instagram because I used to do a month or so ago daily videos called According to Hilary, where I did Instagram lives because I just had the time in my schedule to do it. And that has not been true lately. But that is a different audience entirely. And I feel more like it seems very cash now, what you're seeing, but Instagram is almost more casual, or like the Instagram live, I feel is even more casual. And I don't feel as like, got to be professional, got to be when I do these weekly shows. So on there, I'm talking about like a variety of topics, not just tarot related topics. I'm talking about makeup. I'm talking about sports. I'm talking about weird predictions. I'm talking about the fact that my bathroom overflowed. I'm talking about like ridiculous things. So I feel like that's more of like a cash setting. So I think it really depends on your audience and your focus and what you do, what you use each platform for, basically. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Not a making plans. Yeah, fine. DM, IGDM is fine, Suri. As long as I know that you're contacting me for that and not a free reading. I'm joking about that. Guys, I want to tell you, like, the reason why I have that widget up with the free reading requests will be ignored. It's not for you regular viewers. You already know that this is not the space for that, and you already know how much I already give. One of these things that I give every week is the free weekly episode in which I teach different tarot topics. It's absolutely 100% free, right? And yet, still, people come into the comments either on YouTube or on Facebook, and they keep on asking for readings. What are you doing? Do you know how many professional tarot readers and how many requests they get on a given day, week, month, year? It's crazy. It's ridiculous. And there's a lot of free reading exchanges and requests. And yet they still continue to hound professional readers for free readings. No, that don't pay the bills. Sorry. Especially not in a pandemic year where business is either booming or really, really bad, or people are completely out of work. Like, no, stop. Obviously, Zuri, I know you're totally joking about that. By the way, and I'm only being like snarky about this because like I literally am getting to the point now where it's just like the aggressive helper need in me is kind of being driven out of me. And I am just to the point where it's just like, I can say no and I can release responsibility for these people's ridiculous expectations of me and their like neediness. Because it's taken me a long time to get to the point where it's just like, I've had exchanges where people are like begging me, and it's just like please, you're my only hope kind of thing, and it's just like, but I'm not. I can be sympathetic, I can be empathetic, but that doesn't mean I'm going to give you a free anything, and these are complete strangers too. When if you listen to the Card Slingers Coast to Coast podcast, we often say, madam, that is verbatim from a free reading request that I got, where the person didn't take my no for an answer and continued to message me until I finally had to block this person. But madam, I need you. But I need you. Even after I sent the website to the free reading exchange, I'm not saying don't get a free reading, but don't ask for a free reading from professional readers. Like go to the resources that are out there. There are plenty of people that will read for you for free, but a professional reader that does this for a living is not going to be one of those people. They're just not. I'm sure Zuri has thoughts about this. So Zuri, if you want to put them in the chat, absolutely, let me know. And by the way, Zuri is going to be a guest on one of these. So we have a lot to talk about. I will definitely be doing interviews in the new year. So see, it's not hard, guys. It's not hard. Be respectful of a reader's time and energy. Like, we work really, really hard to set up this stuff. We work really, really hard to set up our businesses in an ethical, respectful way. And then when people come at us for our time, for our attention, for our readings, for our cards, for, our gifts, basically. And yes, I believe, if you've been watching these episodes for a number of days, months, year, I always start off the episode, I am a professional tarot reader, demystifying the mystical and putting you in touch with the most beautiful gift, your own intuition, because yes, my friend, you have intuition. I strongly believe that. I would not be saying that if I didn't believe that. Every single episode, I start with it and I end with it because it is a gift. But it is a gift that everyone has, but not everybody cultivates. Psychic, to me, is practiced intuition. Okay? We practice it. We hone it. We do it for doing readings. You're not just paying for our gifts, which is not just freely given. You're also paying for our time, our expertise, our money, basically, that we put into further studying and further educating ourselves. I have a whole blog post on this called Tarot Reader, Where Does Your Money Go? In which I talk about all of the different things that I spend my money on, and I always reinvest in my business as well. And that takes money. But the computer that I'm on right now, Be Live, that I use to do this simulcasting, that's pay. That's pay to play. That's not free. And I always do provide free resources when I can, or use free resources, or direct people to free resources. I'm always very, very clear. This is a paid thing. This is a free thing. But you can't pay your bills with readings. You can't. I've tried. I can't remember what my co-host for Card Slingers, Melissa, said, but she said something to the effect of about like that, but in a more eloquent way, where it's just like, if I could do that, I would, or try calling your phone company and saying if you can pay with a tarot reading, and let me know what you get back, right? So Zuri says, we have spent years honing our craft and paying thousands of dollars, taking classes and workshops and buying books to get where we are today. And decks, by the way, the tool which we use to do our work. Now, can I give a reading without a tarot deck? Yes, I actually can. Is it probably going to be difficult for me to do that? Probably, yeah, a little bit, because The tarot deck. Did you really just do that? You have been burping all day long. I am in a live broadcast, my husband. Sorry. I'm sorry if you guys heard him belch. That was disgusting. I apologize on behalf of him. He will be getting a beating after I'm done broadcasting. I'm totally joking about that. But the deck that I use is a tool to access my intuition. And I also really like using that tool, that physical tool, because my clients can look at that tool too. And that tool kind of binds our intuition together. We're looking at the same thing, you know? So taking classes, workshops, buying books to get where we are today. So they wouldn't expect a doctor or a lawyer or a mechanic to work for free. We have to put in the years and time to develop our craft. Thank you, Zuri. I mean, case in point, I don't want to have to point it out, but yes, these Friday sessions are how you give back to your community. Absolutely. And yet still people are putting in the comments, when will he come back to me? When will he come back to me? And it's just like, oh, good. Oh, Dina, he's going to be so disappointed. Dina said, I heard nothing. So they heard nothing. You're still in trouble. One of these days, we're going to get him on camera, folks. So yeah, that is a long-winded rant of saying, this is the reason why I have this little widget, that little Post-it note up there, free reading requests will be ignored, because I don't have the time and capacity to keep saying to people, this is not what this space is about. It's not. And even then, I'm giving the astrology at the top of the hour, and I'm giving the weekend forecast at the end of the episode, every single end of the episode. And that's a reading for the collective, which I'm happy to give, more than happy to give. But then if you keep asking, like, where am I getting my business from if I keep on giving free? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, so let me pull this back up here. So now that we've seen the calendar and we know that we have another 2 episodes left in this month, I think we do have our 2 topics. Thank you, Zuri and Dina, for contributing. And then if there's more topics that you want to learn about, feel free to still put it in the comments section. I read over all of the comments. Just because I'm saying that free reading requests will be ignored doesn't mean that I'm not reading them. I'm reading them, but I'm choosing to ignore them if they're coming up on the live broadcast, because I'm not having the argument and wasting regular viewers' times arguing with people that this is neither the time nor the place. And if you would like a reading with me, you're absolutely welcome to book one with me on my website. It's right there, tarotbyhilary.com, Hilary with 1 L. I have a great online scheduler. By the way, another thing that I pay for yearly, and I'm happy to pay for it because it eliminates the back and forth emails of like, when can I meet you? How? This, that, how much money? It's Acuity scheduling, by the way, that I use, which I pay for. And it paid for itself within the first day that I started using it. One of my regular clients booked it, and she was just like, oh my God, this is so much easier, Hilary. I'm like, I know, right? And in you booking your regular appointment, you've just basically paid for it. So you've paid for my appointment calendar for the rest of the year. So thank you. This is an exchange. This is what small business is about, guys. I'm giving you something, you are paying for that something, and then I'm reinvesting in my business so that I can keep doing it, so that I can keep helping and serving. It's not a hard concept, but I guess it's a hard concept for some people, right? Ooh, extreme close-up. All right, so I think we have determined our episodes. So let's go ahead and display them, shall we? Let me type it up first, and then we'll display it and we'll go over it. And then I think we're going to wrap up with the weekend forecast. So this episode, there was no specific topic. However, you got a great rant on me and free reading requests. Actually, I was just looking over this post by Benabel Wen, who is awesome, which is called The Plight of the Free Reading Requests. I'm going to go ahead and drop it here in the chat. You should be able to see it in both YouTube and Facebook. I also, let me pull up my tarot reader. Where does your money go? Of course, I'm not going to be able to find it right away. Let's see. And actually, like the spark for that particular article that I wrote was based on an astounding breakfast roundtable that I attended at Reader Studio. And I just don't understand people. There are people out there with a lot of disposable income. And there are some people out there that do not have a lot of disposable income. And when you attend tarot conferences are not cheap. So not only what Zuri was saying about books, furthering education, etc., tarot decks, these all cost money. Online schedulers, Be Live, all of this stuff costs money. And I'm not mad about that. That's just the facts of the situation. I also understand if you're, you have to spend money to make money. That adage, it's kind of true. Especially if you want to reinvest in your business. You should be reinvesting in yourself and in your business and in professional development in your career. So when I read for you a little bit of what sparked this article, you may kind of have your jaw drop on the floor as to the source of this kind of assertion. So give me a second. So I start that blog post. Back in 2013, I attended Reader Studio, which is a yearly conference and one of my mandatory yearly conferences as an attendee. The conversation became heated during a breakfast roundtable moderated by Teresa Reed, in which that age-old debate came up, the assertion that spiritual or metaphysical people shouldn't be charging for their services. Now, Beth Owl's daughter, who is a wonderful tarot reader, calls this phenomena about the assertion that spiritual or metaphysical people shouldn't be charging for their services. She calls this the purple collar ghetto. I've come to realize that even after almost 10 years as a professional tarot reader, that the concept of the purple collar ghetto is still alive and well and is propagated by tarot readers and non-readers alike, which I find stunning. Language such as bartering, sliding scale, discounts, spiritual calling. Guilt trips from other readers for those that charge for readings in how can you turn away someone that needs your help with a reading tone. And aside, a tarot reading is a want, not a need, which I'll cover in an upcoming post. And I think I did. I just can't remember what the name of it is. That kind of sentiment manifests in other ways and usually leads to devaluing of time and disrespect of what a tarot reader does. Some things I've heard from friends, from relatives, from complete strangers. Well, don't you enjoy giving readings? Shouldn't that be enough? Oh, I thought it was just a hobby. Can't you just read her cards casually? I'll buy you a drink in exchange for a reading. I'll give you a massage in exchange for a reading. I'll insert name of whatever service they do in exchange for a reading. I didn't know you charged that much. Can I get a discount? And I need your advice. Do you have the cards with you? So in that blog post, which I've already shared in the comments section for both YouTube and for Facebook. You can go ahead and read the rest of that post. I give examples of everything that I spend my time and my money on in service to my tarot reading business, so that people can see, you think that I shouldn't charge? Here's what I spend my money on. Here's what I invest in my business. And you think I shouldn't charge? No. So go ahead, enjoy reading those 2 articles that I put in. Well, thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Oh boy, here, Zuri. I get clients trying to haggle me in my product sale lives too. I have to have clear boundaries that these prices are set. Yeah, I mean, Zuri, it's kind of stunning. So not only, so I've had many jobs, many jobs. I have done face painting professionally. That was actually one of my first jobs. I've babysat professionally. I have done corporate retail. I've done independent retail. I'm a copy editor. I'm a copy edit manager. I do freelance editing. I'm a writer as well. Yeah. She says, or in DM as well. Haggling in the comments and then haggling over in DM on direct message. Yep, get it. I had 15 years of independent retail experience, and my manager was the owner of the gift store that I worked in. And also, I consider her a very good friend as well. And some of the prices were handwritten on price stickers, okay? And because people thought that the prices were handwritten, that they were negotiable. Never mind the fact that we spent time and energy attending trade shows, going to different trade shows, both at the Javits Center, at the Piers, New York, Philadelphia, Buyers Market of American Crafts. So going to different trade shows and looking at different vendors to bring their merchandise, whether it's pottery, whether it's books, whether it's greeting cards, whether it's soap, whether it was tarot decks. So I started to, like, let's sell some tarot decks too. Whether it was jewelry, we had, I think 3 full jewelry cases of different jewelry, whether it's necklaces, earrings, bracelets, rings, stackable rings, eyeglass magnifiers. I'm looking around right now, and a lot of the things I'm seeing around me and also in my home are from that store. Like it's a tale as old as time. If you want to sell something, you got to believe in what you sell, and you have to know the story behind it too, because the story behind the creation of the product is what sells that product. I mean, this right here, this is one of my little initial necklaces that we got from, I'm not going to remember the name of the company. I think it's called Stories Untold. But this is from, the H is from a book, from like an antique book. And that's how they would make the jewelry. So different emblems, different little pieces or whatever, but we took the time to stock our gift store in such a way that the pieces were unusual. They had a story to them. They were unique. And my point of it is, that's gas money traveling to Philadelphia if we were attending the Buyers Market. That's a hotel room there. That's dinner as well, going over all the orders that we placed from the day before. That's keeping the lights on. You know, that's shelving units, that's rugs, that's a cash register, you know. It's, you know, and that's a brick and mortar business. So there's overhead there. There's overhead that you need to anticipate, and you need to be able to break even. All of that is sorted into the pricing of these products that we were then selling, you know. Zuri's trying to do the same thing with her product sale lives as well, or anyone that's doing that. I know of a couple of people that have been doing that, where you have to label something. You have to label one or the price. You have to show it. You have to show it in a way that makes sense, where it's just like you get the flash of the crystal. For example, if I was trying to sell my labradorites, you know, I would make sure that I would have like a selfie light or something to illuminate it so that it sells better, so that people can see the product before buying. There's a lot of stuff that goes into all of this, including people that are service-based and aren't product-based. You know, it takes time and energy into pricing your services, and also knowing what services you will offer and what you specialize in and what you won't do. You know, and that goes along with boundary setting too. There's a lot of people that will ask me, oh, well, you know, I want a tarot reading. Here's my birth date and here's my partner's birth date. I don't need that. I'm a tarot reader. I'm not an astrologer. So I think some of it is a lack of understanding and just needing to educate people. And some of it is kind of a willful ignorance as well. So exactly. We go to gem shows, crystal warehouses. Then you have hosting fees, hotel costs, accounting costs, taxes, plugins, advertising, etc. Yeah, I mean, Zuri and I have a lot to talk about behind the scenes. But we will totally do an episode about that, or other stuff about being in business for yourself. And also, like, you know, different myths about, well, if you're a professional tarot reader, you must be doing this full time. Otherwise, you're not a professional tarot reader. I had to get over that, because unfortunately, or fortunately, or neutrally, not everyone that is a professional tarot reader can do this full time. And in fact, the majority of professional tarot readers are part-time. They don't do it full time, because the healthcare costs are too high. You have to pay for COBRA. You have to pay for health insurance for yourself. So sometimes we moonlight, and that doesn't make our business any less legitimate than any other. Teresa and I did dueling blog posts on the subject, what it's like working as a full-time tarot reader versus what it's like working as a part-time tarot reader. She is the rarity. She is the exception to the rule. She is full-time. I am the majority. I am the rule. Most of us are part-time. She happens to be stellar, you know, but just because it's not a matter of good or bad, or, well, you must be a shit tarot reader then if you don't do it full-time. It's absolutely not true. Not true at all. But some of this is my own stuff and my own baggage that I had to get through. So imagine people that are newer to this business, entering this business and hearing this from potential clients. You know, like, that's a lot of stuff to sort through, you know, or hearing that from their peers or people that are trying to welcome them into the community. Sometimes there's a little bit of tarot gatekeeping going on, where older readers are threatened by the younger readers that are coming into it. Like, I can't tell you the amount of flack that certain people have gotten or given because of ageism that's going on in tarot. Like, oh, well, you're under a certain age. That means you know jack shit about tarot reading. That's not true. Some of the best readers that I have seen are younger than me. And I don't think I'm very old per se. I'm going to be 40 next year. But actually, I'm younger than the median age of most tarot readers right now. You've got to get that new blood in there, right? Anyway, so we have set up Yule. Okay. So we know what we're going to be talking about for the next couple of episodes for December. So thank you for your inputs on that, and thank you for indulging my little rant on the freebie seekers that are coming up. And if you feel like, oh well, that's not me, then that's not for you. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking bad about you. This is just something that you need to be aware of. The next time you go to be like, oh, I wonder if my friend can pull some cards for me. Boundaries. And tell your friend, I would like to book you as a paying client. I'm telling you, they will appreciate it rather than be like, oh, can you bring your cards with you when we go out to dinner? No. No, because I'm going out to dinner with my friend. I'm not on the clock. So really quickly, let's run it down. So December 11th, we're going to be talking about the sixes of the tarot. December 18th, we're going to be talking about Yule. So different Yule traditions. What is Yule? What gods or goddesses it's honoring? What about the Oak King and the Holly King? What about the Child of Promise? We're going to be talking all about Yule. And then there will be no show on December 25th. So that is the month of December. Give me the weekend, and I will probably post the schedule Monday so that we have a list. And that way, if you're interested in a certain class over another class you want to attend live, you can totally do so. If you're not going to be available on one of those dates, that's okay. There will be replays available in the free playlist on both my Facebook page and on my YouTube channel, available in both places. So you can always revisit it and pause it anytime you need to or want to. So it's already 7:50. So we've gone a little bit over time, and my supper is getting cold. So let us talk about the weekend forecast. Let us do that. It is going to be from the Scorpio Sea Tarot, which is the deck of the month for the month of December. Over the past few months, I have not been doing a standard deck of the month. I've just been doing kind of a hodgepodge, pulling from whichever tarot deck or oracle deck I'm drawn to that day, or sometimes not even pulling at all, I'm sorry to say. So I'm getting back into my deck of the month and really exploring in depth a particular deck with card of the day from that deck. So the Scorpio Sea Tarot is one of the newest decks that I've gotten. I believe that Melissa gave me a copy of the Scorpio Sea Tarot. It is the tarot deck that is associated with Maggie Stiefvater's Scorpio Races. The Scorpio Races, which I believe was a bestseller. And I have never read it. I want to read it, and I planned on reading it first and then working with the tarot deck, but the tarot deck was saying to me, no, now, bitch. So I'm working with the tarot deck first. Let me go ahead and pull up. Month. So, can you guys see me typing this? All right. I'm really liking the widgets. That's the sticky notes widget. There's also a countdown widget. There's a days in quarantine widget and a thermometer widget, which I think you have to fill it. You have to fill it in yourself. It doesn't like automatically propagate, but you know, kind of nerdy. Sorry. All right. Let us take a look. So I have already shuffled this up because this is also the tarot card of the day. And as usual, if there is a stellar guidebook that goes along with the tarot deck, I'm going to read from the guidebook, and then I usually give my interpretation of that particular tarot card. So today, you're not going to see me shuffling because I've already previously shuffled, but I have been using the card that I pulled as a bookmark to the page in the guidebook, okay? So today we have the World card from the Scorpio Sea Tarot. So I'm going to hold it up and I'm going to read from the companion book. Now, remember, this is Maggie Stiefvater did the artwork, and the text is by Melissa Sonova. So the World, we have the World today. Keywords are achievement, victory, completion, and transition. Older, wiser, calmer, but not jaded. Our cat's all grown up, and now she's not going to spend her time chasing butterflies. She's chased them all. She knows what it feels like. She's gazing past these little distractions toward the next big thing. The World is a transition card that invites us to look briefly back to where we've been. We should bless it, thank it, and release it. Then we focus on the new and the new beginning lying in front of us. We're about to become that kitten again with all new adventures ahead of us. So I really like this deck, and I'm surprised by how much I like it already, because it's usually, I don't know, it's like not, I don't know, like the artwork to me like didn't immediately resonate with me right away. It didn't really strike me right away, but now the more that I'm working with it, and it's only day 4, so I'm trying to reserve my judgment altogether on it. But I'm really liking what I'm getting so far. And of course, the text that goes along with it, that's Melissa. That's my co-host of the Card Slingers Coast to Coast podcast. Her and Jamers are my girls, you know, and she writes in the same way that she talks. And, you know, if you've ever read any of her books before, or attended any of her workshops, this is what she sounds like. So this is how she gives the information, especially if you've ever tuned into one of her Hey Sonova advice from the tarot readings. She is just very intuitive when she looks at these images, or she had a hand in what Maggie created with the illustrations as well. So this is pure. It's pure Melissa. It really is. So I love that. I love different decks, especially different new decks where I know the illustrator or I know the author of the companion book, because it just makes it just makes me feel like I know this deck and I can read this deck, and it's also giving me permission, I guess, to have my own interpretations as well. But so the World is the kitty cat all grown up, okay? And so there's those butterflies that she talks about in the companion book, right? But what she's saying about the World card, so the World is the final card of the major arcana, numbered 21, but it's actually the 22nd card because the Fool is numbered 0 and is the first card of the major arcana. The reason why she says the cat we're going to become a kitten again is because there is this full circle. It's not linear when we're talking about the tarot. It is the Fool's journey, but the Fool's journey begins again after the World and turns back into the Fool card with each new situation, each new journey, each new step in the journey. So the reason why she's saying the cat turns into the kitten again is because this is the Fool card in the Scorpio Sea Tarot. So look at the kitty, look at the baby kitty, and look at those distractions of the butterflies. So there is this full circle moment coming in the illustrations and the companion book to show us that journey, to show the maturation of the little kitten that is the Fool. So we have to remember that we're not jaded. The cat isn't jaded, and that we're not the reckless little kitten that we once were. But we're not jaded either. We're just wise. So this is a wise kitten to be able to focus on the things that need to be focused on right now. So that would be my interpretation of the weekend forecast. is to know where you're setting your sights. Focus where you need to focus. Know where you need to go next. Know where you need to step next. I mean, with the Fool card is about, taking that first step and not knowing what's going to happen, to having that foot almost over the cliff energy, or in this case, the kitten chasing after the different beautiful, distracting butterflies. Like it doesn't need to be figured out right now when you're the Fool, but when you're the world, it's time to focus. It's time to put away childish things. It's time to be focused and not distracted. You need to know where the next step is going to take you. Whoo, right? So that is your weekend forecast. I hope it helps you. Thank you so much for watching. This was a really big episode for an episode that I didn't really have a specific topic. We got really deep into why I don't honor free reading requests. And I gave you some resources about that. We also did the astrology at the top of the hour. Thank you to Teresa Reed for the AstroBiz Digest. You could check that out on her website, thetarotlady.com. And let me do a quick rundown yet again of upcoming episodes. So next week, December 11th, Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are talking about the sixes of the tarot. Thank you, Dina, for that suggestion. On the next Friday, December 18th, we're talking about the pagan holiday of Yule, different modern practices, how to celebrate Yule, what are the gods or goddesses associated with Yule, what is the child of promise, what is the bringing back of the light, what scientific nature phenomenons are going on to make Yule what it is. It's actually the longest night of the year, and after Yule, the days start to become lighter again. So it's actually a really wonderful, bright holiday. So I'm looking forward to teaching you guys about that. And then just keep in mind, we have no show on December 25th in celebration of Christmas. So that's it. Just a reminder, we do this every Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless otherwise noted, such as December 25th, there will be no episode. I thank you all for watching so much. If you're watching live or you're watching the replay, I appreciate you. It seems that the comments seem to have quieted down, so hopefully you guys are still hearing me and seeing me. Either way, it's wrap-up time. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, I am Hilary, professional tarot reader, demystifying the mystical and putting you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition, because yes, my friend, you've got intuition. Have a great night, great weekend to you. I will see you next Friday, December 11th, where we're talking about the sixes of the tarot. Good night.